Welcome to the Powerlifting America pregame show for the Sub-Junior and Junior World Championships in Romania. Today we are on day 11, I'm sorry. Wow, I can't believe that it's finally the final day of these classic Sub-Junior and Junior World Championships. Of course, the Equipped wrapped what feels like a month ago, but here we are on day 11. We have 2 sessions left. We've got, in the first session, we've got the 120 kilo juniors. And in that session, Powerlifting America has athlete Paul Harayo. And then in session 2, we have the 120 kilo sub-juniors, Trevor Klein and Jacob Breckenridge, along with all of the 120 pluses on the men's side. Unfortunately, Powerlifting America doesn't have any 120 pluses, so if you're listening to this and you're a 120 plus, you need to sign up for Powerlifting America Nationals and come on over here and compete at the Sub-Junior and Junior World Championships next year. Looks like there's some open spots on the team in that weight division. So for anyone who doesn't know, all of Powerlifting America National Championships are live. The registration is live. The calendar has been listed. It's on our website under events. All of the national championships, all 6 of them, are listed there, pinned at the top of the events page on the Powerlifting America website. And you can find the link to that website down below. It's powerlifting-america.com. Go there, become a member. You can also click on the store on powerliftingamerica.com and buy a shirt or a hat and show your support for the team. And definitely help us sell out those shirts because we're going to be coming up with some really cool new designs as soon as those stock are sold out. Now, today we are here for day 11. It's the end of the classic Sub-Junior and Junior World Championships. The Equipped has already wrapped up a few days ago, more like 5-6 days ago. And to give you a little bit of a recap of what happened yesterday, we had a really, really awesome session in the morning or in the afternoon with Chelsea Enamore and Luella Bowden taking first and second place in the 84 plus sub-junior category, which was good enough to lock down the sub-junior world championship for the United States. So if I go ahead and pull up the current standings, we'll start with the women's side. On the women's side, we have, for the sub-juniors, Team USA is in first place with 49 points, Great Britain in second with 47 points, then Hungary and Finland with 28, 26. Italy rounds out the top 5 with 25 points, which was also tied with Czechia. So a great performance there from the United States sub-junior women. Congratulations to all of them. Everyone on that team will be walking away from these World Championships with the gold medal. So whether you actually finished as a world champion or not, you are a world champion on Team USA, walking away with the gold medal for team points. On best lifter for sub-juniors, we have new standings up to date, and it was an extremely, extremely close race between Luella Bowden finishing in first place as the best lifter and the sub-junior women in the world. Second place, Chelsea Enamore. And they were separated by only 0.3 points, 97.5 versus 97.2 on good lift points to take home first and second place. Wow, what an absolutely amazing battle. If you didn't watch this session yesterday, it definitely lived up to the hype that we all thought it would. While both ladies did not have their best day in terms of total, finishing with a 578.5 for Luella and a 560 for Chelsea. I'm going to pull up real quick and show what their best totals were to date before that. Yeah, so like I said, Luella finished with a 578.5. She did 582.5 in the Cayman Islands, so not far off. Basically just 5 kilos of a little 5 kilo dip after doing the North American Powerlifting Championships just what feels like only a couple of weeks ago. I think it was about maybe 3 weeks ago now at the most. And to turn right around and put up basically the exact same total on another international platform, that is really amazing, a testament to what kind of athlete Luella Bowden is. She's a superstar in the making for sure. Her coach told me yesterday they wanted to squat 600 pounds, which would have been absolutely ridiculous for a 17-year-old to be out here squatting 600 pounds. That would just be so spectacular. She was close. She definitely could have loaded it if she had got her first 2 squats in. There's no question that she has the strength to hit it. She's hit 584 pounds before, and that definitely would be on the table, but she didn't need it. In true dramatic fashion, Luella came out and got called for depth on both of her first 2 squats with 245 and got it on her third. She did So I think on the first one, she got 2 reds and a white. The second one, the other referees. So for the first one, the head ref gave her a white, and the 2 side refs gave her reds. Then on her second lift, I believe it was the 2 side referees gave her whites, and the head ref gave her a red, and then the jury overturned it. And so to make it into a bad lift, a no lift. Then on her third attempt, they flipped again, and it was I believe it was the 2 side referees who gave her then gave her white lights. No, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she got 2 white lights basically on her third, and it was kind of like a flip-flop, like basically every ref and jury that was out there gave her a different a red light or a white light depending on the different squat, but nonetheless, she got 2 white lights on her third squat, and it stood. The jury did not overturn it. She got take home the gold medal on squat with that 245. She gave us all a huge scare because obviously if you look at the team points, United States coming in first with 49, Great Britain coming in second with 47. If Luella had bombed out, we definitely would not have won the team points on against Great Britain. That's for sure. So Luella then finished off 6 for 6, got all 3 benches, all 3 deadlifts. She did bench press a world record 121 on her third attempt on bench press, which is a PR in the meet for her. Her previous best was 117.5. So congrats to her for PRing her bench and breaking the world record, walking away with the world record and the gold medal on bench. And then she ended up finishing on deadlift with a 212.5 on deadlift, which is her best in competition as well. It's a 2.5 kilo PR. She did 210 at Open Nationals back in February in Austin, Texas, where she won the Open National title. So Luella, if we look at her Open powerlifting now, it is a bunch of first place finishes, 2 local meets. Then in the Open National Championships in Austin, Texas, she finished in first place. Then at the North American Powerlifting Championships in the Open division, she finished first place. And now at the Sub-Junior World Championships here in Romania, she finished in first place. So Luella does nothing but win at the highest possible levels. We couldn't be more proud of her. She is a superstar. She is also in the hottest weight class going right now, the 84 pluses. You know, we've been saying it over and over again on the Powerlifting America podcast, on the Monday Night Live shows that we do, and here on these pregame shows. It's just a spectacular weight class. It's a weight class where we have sub-juniors now squatting near 600 pounds, where we have, obviously the future is extremely bright for the United States team with having the GOAT in Bonica Brown, having these 2 amazing sub-juniors, having the possibility of someone like Alexis Jones joining the squad in the future. It's really, really bright future in this weight class for the United States, but also don't forget that Canada has the reigning Open World Champion, that Belgium has a young challenger that's coming up that also is breaking world records. And then just last night, we got to see the future as well with the junior superstar Listus here at these World Championships, taking home the world title and breaking records and along the way as well. She finished up with a 590 total last night, and then our 2 girls finished up 578, 560. So the future is extremely, extremely bright and strong for the 84 pluses. Okay, so let's now talk about Chelsea's performance yesterday. So Chelsea didn't have the day that she wanted. She missed her opening squat. I think she got in her head a little bit. She got some different cues that she's not used to. I can see just looking at her warm-ups and then how she set up on her opener on squat, she set up a little funny. She kind of was taking a little bit of a long time, like her breathing and brace, like didn't seem to be in the exact same timing that I had seen her doing in the warm-ups. And, she mentioned in their post-competition press conference that, she got the cue to sink it, and it kind of got in her head a little bit. Like she started thinking about depth too much, and she never has a problem with depth. So it was very interesting that she, kind of got in her head and missed that. And it was kind of reminiscent of Jessica Haggerty's performance with her opening squat. Like she started to get it up, and then she kind of like took a step forward And she knew she wasn't going to get it. And she mentioned in the post-competition press conference that at high school nationals on her third squat, she kind of hurt her back, like trying to grind out a squat when she got out of position. So this time, being a much more veteran lifter than she was back then, she just like let it go, didn't try to force it up, and saved her back and saved her energy, and came out and got it on her second, absolutely smoked it. I mean, this was 207.5 kilograms. She blew it up like it was an empty bar. It looked so easy. They went up 10 kilos just to be safe into 217.5. Again, she destroyed it, absolutely smoked it. There's no question in my mind that Luella's got probably today, if she wanted to, at least another 10 or 15 kilos on her squat available. And if she had gotten about 15 kilos more on her squat, then she would have been within 2.5 kilos of Luella Bowden, and we would have had an extremely tight battle. Moving on to bench, Chelsea is a bench god. She's really great at the bench press. She came in here with high goals of wanting to break the world record. She opened with 115 and absolutely blew it up. It looked like it was easy. Moved basically like an opener. You would expect an easy opener to move. Goes up 5.5 kilos to 120.5 to try and break the world record, and just could not get it up. Her setup, again, she was very nervous, or she was in her head a lot, thinking about how much pressure there was on her to get this world record, because she'd been talking about it coming in. Everybody knew it was on the table for her. She had taken this weight for like a double or a triple in training, and so everybody knew that she was more than capable of breaking this world record. But things happen on the world stage. It's a little bit more difficult. There's a little more technicalities. The bench is different. The bright lights, everything like that. It was difficult. She said that she was having some issues with her setup, that her setup just wasn't feeling right. She just didn't feel comfortable out there. I don't know if it was nerves or what. I know the clock was running down quite a bit as well. But it looked to me like she had touched a little low on her second attempt, her second attempt, which she missed. And then on her third attempt, it looked just like she didn't quite have the same tension through her whole body that you would normally expect her to have in order to hit a big bench press. So she didn't get either of her second or third bench. Again, she left 5.5 kilos there. She left probably 10 kilos on squat. If she had gotten 10 or 12 on squat and another 5 here, then she would have won the world championship. So, she should be really proud of her performance. We are definitely extremely proud of her. She did a fantastic job. She was very close to making this a wire-to-wire battle with Luella Bowden. She just came up a little bit short with her technique on the opening squat and on her second 2 bench presses. I don't think it had anything to do with her strength. Her strength is absolutely there, and I think we can look forward to seeing these 2 battle it out in the future. She went 3 for 3 on deadlift. She got a big pull on her. She pulled 227.5 on her third to Luella's 212.5. And I believe Luella's was red lighted, and then it was overturned as a good lift by the jury, something like that. There was a little bit of drama on all of the disciplines for both of these ladies, except on Chelsea's deadlift. They were all very clean and very fast. But it was a great way to finish off, going 3 for 3. You could tell that she was very upset after bench press because that's kind of her lift. She knew she left kilos out there on squat. She talked in the post-competition press conference that she had told her game day coach and handler, Meg Carey, that if there was any place where she could pick up extra kilos and add more kilos onto her total, it was going to be on squat and bench, and those were the 2 lifts where she struggled the most. It's a good thing, though, that she did finish 3 for 3 and on deadlift, and now her deadlift, hopefully she'll have more confidence going into it, because she's injured her back several times on deadlift. She mentioned this in the press conference, and so now hopefully she'll be feeling a little bit more confident in her deadlift. She's a very well-rounded lifter. She's very strong at all 3 lifts. She's going to be a force and a threat, a force to be reckoned with moving forward in this weight class for sure. It's interesting to see that we basically in the in the 84 plus category, and even in the 120 plus category, which we'll be looking at later on today, it's an unlimited category, so you can basically go up in weight as much as you want. But it's very interesting to see that some of the best lifters in the world, Brittany Schlater and Sonita, and now you can see here Listis weighed in at 95.4 kilograms. I mean, she is 10 kilos off of being an 84. If we look at Luella Bowden, Luella weighed in at 134 kilos and Chelsea weighed in at 112. So, I mean, having a 20 kilo advantage on body weight is big. I mean, but is it really an advantage? That's the question that I think we'll have for this weight class going forward. And I think we kind of see it on the same over on the men's side. If we look at the weight of Ray Williams versus Jesus is like a lighter super heavyweight, and he has a monster world record deadlift. Same thing that you're kind of seeing here is that Chelsea comes in and she's like, I think now what we're going to start to see in both of the super heavyweight on the men and the women's side is that you have like two different types of lifters. You have a lifter that can really max out their own body weight and get up a huge squat and possibly a huge bench press. And then you also going to have lifters that are maybe floating around, on the lower ends of the weight class, where they're basically just going to build up their body but still remain fairly lean and be able to have huge deadlifts. And the question will be, can they also have a big enough bench and a big enough squat to where they can compete with these lifters that are outweighing them by something like 20 kilos, whatever the case may be. I know Ray Williams outweighs Jesus by quite a bit. I know that Bonica outweighs, Sonita and Brittany Schlater and Listus here by quite a bit as well. It's very interesting. It's interesting to think maybe there is a sweet spot where going up in weight for certain lifters, depending on your leverages, isn't going to help you. I know it was crazy. I was in the warm-up room with Chelsea. She was very emotional after her bench presses and everything, and she was kind of crying on my shoulder a little bit. And I have to tell you, she is so freaking jacked and huge. Just whenever I pat her on the back, it reminds me of Jesus. Like, it reminded me of just how broad and thick his back is and how strong he is and just how jacked and muscly he is. That's the kind of build that Chelsea has. So it's very interesting going forward that what strategies these super heavies can take of whether they want to keep adding weight on or if they want to stay at something that's lean enough to where they can have a huge deadlift. And I think it's very interesting. I think it makes for great sports. I think it makes for great strategy. I think it makes for great just storylines and differences in the way that people lift. And we're going to see really exciting things in the future where someone's breaking a world record on a squat and another one's breaking a world record on bench and another one's breaking a world record on the deadlift, just depending on their leverages. And every one of them will have a different advantage and a different weapon up their pocket. Of course, we saw Brittany Schlater broke the world record squat and I believe the world record deadlift, and she had a pretty big bench on her too. So I think in the end, being a 3-lift specialist is probably the way to go. But it's very interesting here. Looking at the future, we kind of have it replicated a little bit with our two sub-junior lifters here. And either way, they finished first and second by a long shot. Third, so they finished 578.5 for Luella, 560 for Chelsea, and then the third place competitor from Chinese Taipei finished with 412. So they won by over 150 kilos, roughly 150 kilos first and second. And very interesting too, a lot of people say that good lift points does not favor super heavies. Well, it definitely favors the strongest lifters in the game because they both came out on top, first and second on best lifter, and with a 97.5 for Luella, a 97.2 for Chelsea. It really came down to if either one of them had hit another lift, they could have run away with it. If Chelsea had hit her second bench, or if she had gotten a few more kilos out of her squat after missing her opener, she could have walked away with best lifter, even if she still lost this weight class to Luella. Would have been a very cool storyline. Would have been a very cool feat where all of our ladies in this weight class would have got a certain type of gold medal, which would be really cool. Of course, everyone on the Classic Sub-Junior women's team is going to walk away with the gold medal for team points. They all contributed. They all were great teammates. They were out there cheering each other on. They're one of the most close-knit squads on the entire team across the equipped and the Classic and across juniors and sub-juniors. These sub-junior girls are super tight. They're all made best friends now, and they're going to walk away as world champions, all of them on team points for the United States. So congratulations and hats off to them. The third place best lifter was Chloe Tang, who competed in the 57 kilo weight class way back, what feels like a month ago, on day 2 of the Classic Sub-Junior World Championships, and who beat out our girl Eleni Guerrera in the 57 kilo weight class. And again, it just goes to show that Eleni was in that battle all the way to the end, and she basically lost out to someone who is one of the best lifters in the world. So again, Eleni, you can hold your head high. that you lost, but you lost to someone who is truly great, and you still have another year in the sub juniors to come back and claim the throne and to break the deadlift world record again, which I know you will, and to become a world champion, which I know you will in the future. And by then as well, probably throw up a number in here that can get you something like 100 good lift points and win best lifter next year. So the future's extremely bright for all of the U.S. National team on the classic women's side. If we move into the classic juniors, okay, so here, let's go back and say what else did we have going on yesterday. We had Michaela von Langen and we had Rachel Olshansky in the 84 kilo sub-junior class. Let's talk about them real quick. For sure, Michaela von Langen finished in 4th place, which gave us 7 team points, and those team points counted. That's why I believe before we had a 5th place finisher in there with 6 points. So we have 12, 12, 9, 9, and 7 now instead of 9, 9, and 6. So Michaela von Langen's points came through clutch, helped us beat Great Britain by 2 points instead of 1 point. If she had finished one position lower, we would have only beat them by 1 point. Would have been a lot closer. Way to handle business, Michaela. She talked in her post-game press conference. First of all, I mentioned yesterday that we don't know that much about Michaela von Langen. At least I didn't know that much about her coming into this. Well, just a huge surprise to me to know that she's from my home state of Nebraska. So shout out Nebraska Cornhuskers, go Big Red. Michaela, you made the state of Nebraska proud. You did an absolutely fantastic job yesterday. It was a pleasure to watch you. You've got a huge deadlift on you for sure. She finished with the bronze medal on deadlift. She finished with the bronze medal on squat, even though she didn't get her 3rd squat. She would have been close. Yeah, she would have finished with the silver medal on squat if she had hit her 3rd squat, but it wasn't there on the day. But yeah, she did absolutely fantastic. She was jockeying for position. She just looked really, really strong all day. There was no question in my mind whenever I saw the standings that she was not going to lose 4th place. She was able to threaten for 3rd. The girl in 3rd place did end up with a 20 kilo lead, so it just wasn't there for her. Michaela gave an amazing press conference yesterday. I highly recommend that you go back and take a look at it if you want to get to know more about Michaela von Langen. She is definitely a young star on the rise. She's a fiery competitor. She's not satisfied. She wants to come back as a junior to these world championships. She spoke extremely well. She's very smart and very strong. She spoke about the fact that, normally at nationals and at local meets that she's competed in, it's very easy for her to win, and how cool it was to not be the strongest person out there, to be in a battle, to have to execute, that you can't just come in and out-muscle everyone, that you actually have to be a technician and execute, and that's what she did, and that's how she got in 4th place. Hats off to her. She did fantastic. We're extremely proud of her. Rachel Olshansky, also in the 84 kilo weight class. By the way, Michaela weighed in super light, by the way. She weighed in at 81 kilograms instead of 84. She talked about that a little bit in her press conference. She overcut for this. So that might have zapped her a little bit, might have zapped her strength just a little bit. You tend to see a lot with these sub-juniors that they tend to be extremely light. I'm just looking at the body weights. The 1st place woman from Germany who absolutely showed out there, she actually weighed in at 83.08. Other than that, they all weighed in at 81, 78, 81, 80, 82, 76, 77. I mean, they all weighing in super light. So it wasn't like it was a crazy disadvantage, but it definitely could have helped if she was right at body weight. Rachel Olshansky came in. I believe she was nominated 6th, and she finished in 6th place. She handled business. She had a good day. She went 2 for 3 on squat. She went 3 for 3 on bench, and she went 2 for 3 on deadlift. I believe she said that she hit something like a 20 kilo competition PR, which is insane. I mean, she's making extremely fast progress. Her coach, Paul Harayo, is here. He's actually competing in this first session here in about 20 minutes. So I'll have to wrap this up here so I can go film him. But Rachel Olshansky did fantastic yesterday. I know that it wasn't the performance that she wanted. She definitely had more. They made a 7.5 kilo jump from her 2nd squat to her 3rd, which shows that, she's definitely had more in the tank. Maybe she should have, if she had taken 5, she could have moved up a couple positions in placing. She was in an extremely tight battle with the woman from Czechia, and the woman from Czechia just beat her by 2.5 kilos. So yes, it has to feel heartbreaking that, when you have more, like she left probably 5 kilos out there on squat, and she ends up losing position to the 5th place finisher by only 2.5 kilos. Obviously, you're going to feel bad about that, and you're going to wish that you had done better, but I hope that she's proud of her performance, because we are all proud of her. She also missed her last deadlift, where she also, again, went up 7.5 kilos. So again, maybe if she had taken 5 kilos there, and 5 kilos on her squat, she'd end up with 10 kilos more, and that would have put her comfortably in 5th place behind Michaela. So, Michaela was quite a bit ahead, had a pretty comfortable lockdown on that 4th place position, so it didn't seem like she was going to be able to threaten Michaela. But nonetheless, left some kilos out there, but had herself a day. I'm sure she enjoyed it. I know that she did a really good job of hyping up these world championships, doing a lot of media for them, getting the word out about these world championships. She did her part to spread the word about the sub-junior and junior world championships, women's powerlifting in general in the city of Chicago. And that is stuff that is really important to help the sport grow. It's not something that, that's not something that we can take for granted. So great job with everything that you do, Rachel. We're super, super proud of you. All right, so that is a recap of what happened yesterday. Oh, let me not forget to mention my man, James Kellerman, in the morning session. Okay, so James lifted in the very first session in the 105 kilo sub-juniors. James lifted in a flight of 6, which is insanity to me. Flight of 6 with no other flights. So, this flight went by super fast. It definitely had an effect in gassing him out a little bit, but nonetheless, he handled business. He clinched 3rd place. It was a really good performance. He was going up against a lifter from Austria who is just insane. I think he broke multiple deadlift world records. He attempted a bench press world record that he didn't get. He broke the total world record. He totaled 836 as a sub-junior 105. That is absolute insanity. I believe that's just roughly 100 kilos off of what Anatoly's doing in this weight class. Who's in the 105s? Is that Anatoly? My brain is fried right now. It's hard to remember, but yeah, basically, I think something like a 930, 940 is the best in the world, good enough for best lifter in the Open World Championships. So, an amazing performance by Hamza from Austria. He cruised to an 836 kilo total, which is just ridiculous. To put it into perspective, our guy, Anthony McNaughton, who did not come to these World Championships in the 105 junior class, his best total was 900 kilos. So, a sub-junior lifter here from Austria is totaling 836. That's insane. The 2nd place lifter, John Indoso from the United Arab Emirates, also balled out with a 766. These are really, really big totals for sub-juniors. He broke the squat world record. And then our boy, James Kellerman, came in 3rd with a 682.5. He did fantastic. He took home the the silver medal on bench press, which he's a bench press world champion already from the bench press world championships earlier this year. So that's his lift for sure. But he was in a real battle. And in fact, there was a 3-way battle. Actually, it was a 4-way battle between him and lifters from Slovakia, Great Britain, and Poland, and he ended up kind of pulling away with it, finishing 682.5 to the guy from Slovakia finished with a 670, so he ended up winning by 12.5 kilos, but the guy from Slovakia loaded the bar to win, to tie and win on body weight, and almost pulled it. He gave it everything he had, and almost came out away with the win. So we're really happy for James finishing in the silver medal. He really showed out. He's a young kid that, I met him at the Bench Press Nationals. Him and his dad, they go to every meet together. They're super tight. They travel together. They went to South Africa together. They've been to Romania. They met them in Reno for Bench Press Nationals. Just great people. Then I told them about, all of the ways that you can get onto the World Championship teams, the U.S. national teams. They came to high school nationals in Scranton. He put up a huge performance, won his weight class by a good distance, qualified for this U.S. national team, comes all the way over here to Romania, handles business. We couldn't be more proud of him, and hats off to him and his dad for the way they travel and do everything together. Okay, let's run down the men's team. Currently, the sub-juniors are sitting, the U.S. national team is sitting comfortably in first place. It looks like we're going to run away with that one with 49-30 over Great Britain. And that's thanks especially to our lifters Bodie, Laco in the 59s, and to Daniel Harris in the 66s, who's a world champion, and Nick Gaines, and Jack Reynolds in the 74s. Nick Gaines, world champion. Jack Reynolds finished with this bronze medal in third place. And just, USA, Joseph Tyler finishing in second place in the 83 kilos class. Just great performances all around. This James Kellerman, rounding it out with the bronze medal overall on total in the 105s. Just a really, really strong performance from the sub-juniors. So looks like Team USA is sweeping the sub-juniors here on the classic side of the World Championships, and that's fantastic. It's great to see. The sub-juniors are the future, and our sub-juniors are the strongest in the world, so that is really fantastic going forward. Of course, none of those lifters ended up on the podium for best lifter, so we'll skip past that. Now let's go ahead and look at where we are on the junior squad. So the junior team is, again, we didn't have our boy Anthony McNaughton, who was pretty much a lock for first place. If we had him and we could add in another 12 onto our points and remove a 2, we would be going up by 10. We would be sitting at 43 points, which would have us in second place. Instead, with only 112 on this team so far, coming from Kyle Nowak, we're currently sitting in sixth place. So we're sitting in sixth place with a 33, but right ahead of us, we got Singapore and Italy with 34, Great Britain with 36, and Spain with 38. So let's see what happens today. Let's see if our junior boy out there today can go home and bring home some bacon for Team USA. We've got Paul Harayo. He has been having a fantastic prep. He's got something up his sleeve, I can tell you. He's going to hopefully more than outperform his expectations and where he's nominated. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick here, where his nominations are in the 105s. So we've got Paul Harayo. Let me see here. I'm sorry. We're going to pull up in the 120s. He's nominated in 7th. So let's see what he can do. He's only 10 kilos behind being nominated in third place. We know he's added a lot to his total since Scottsdale, where he put up that total. So let's see what he's doing. He was in the warm-up room coaching his lifter, Rachel Olshansky, yesterday, so let's see. Hopefully that didn't take out too much out of him. Hopefully he made weight. I haven't heard that he's missed weight, so I'm sure he did. So he should be set for a great performance today. And let's see if Team USA can move up the rankings a little bit further there. Okay, finally, last but not least on the recap, we have our junior women, our junior woman lifter from yesterday, who is Antara Jackson in the 84 kilo class. She is a really special lifter. She has competed at 3 world championships. She told us last night in her post-competition press conference. She had a ton of fun. She talks to everyone. She's a pleasure to be around. She's kind of a veteran, calming presence in the warm-up room. Very aware, very special and gifted lifter. And she had a great performance. So yesterday, I believe she said that she finished 4th at last year's World Championships. Now, boom, she finishes 3rd. She's out there on the podium at the end of the day. She finished with a 492.5 total. She held off challengers from Norway and Italy. In fact, she put Norway so far behind that they did not even try to pull to unseat her. 3rd place finish. She had herself a day. She went 2 for 3 on squat. I believe she told us that she hit PRs. She went 3 for 3 on bench. She's amazing on bench, finished with the silver medal on bench. And then she finished with 2 for 3 on deadlift. All she needed was 205. At that point, she had 3rd place locked. You know how it is. When you know you have a position locked. She wasn't feeling good. Her stomach was upset. She was nervous that if they loaded more than 210 on her 3rd, that she might start puking. So she wasn't feeling great. And of course, she had the position locked, and there was no way that she wasn't pulling to try to get in second or anything like that. So she went out there and she gave it a tug on 210 and didn't get it. I'm confident she could get 210. She could probably get 220 in the future, or even just on a good training day right now. But she didn't need it. And you know how when the adrenaline, I mean, she needed her second. She got up for that. And as a result, she might have kind of been a little bit gassed out by the time her 3rd pull came around. But she did great. She finished with a 492.5 total. And let me go ahead and pull up real quick if I have any of her numbers. I don't have her open powerlifting open. So I think it was I think it was a PR total for her. I'm not sure. You'll have to go back and listen again to the post-competition press conference from last night. You can check that out. But it was a great performance from her nonetheless. So great job to you, Antara Jackson. I hope you got your margarita last night. She kept talking about how she's going to have a margarita. So I hope that you got that margarita for you last night. All right, let's move in quickly, run through what's about to happen today, and we'll wrap this up. So starting off in the first session, we've got Paul Harayo. I already mentioned it before. He's in the 120 kilo class. He's nominated in 7th. There is There's 2 lifters that are within 6 kilos above him, so he could definitely be moving up to 5th place. Above that, another 10 kilos, and there's 2 more lifters. He could be moving up to 3rd place and getting on that podium. Let's see if he can do it. That would really help out the U.S. national team in terms of points. Maybe we could still podium on team points. If he could pull that off, let's see. Then let's look at session 2. We've got 2 young superstars, sub-juniors, Trevor Klein and Jacob Breckenridge in the 120 sub-junior category. And these guys are something special for sure. Trevor is nominated in 3rd place with a 692.5 total. He's sitting pretty comfortable there. He's about 18 kilos behind the guy from Czechia in 2nd. I will say that total from Trevor, 692.5, is from way back in March. So let's see what he can do. That's a long time for that total to stand. I know he's been training hard. He's got a great coach in Noah Kim, trains out at Tyson's Playground with Eleni and some of the other superstar lifters on our sub-junior team. So let's see what Trevor can do. I've seen him walking around all week. He's looking jacked. He's looking ready. He's looking confident. So I think we're going to have a good performance out of him. And then we've also got, and I have to mention as well, Trevor has 1 more year as a sub-junior. He's one of the younger weight lifters in this weight class. As far as I know, he's born 2006, it says here. So I think he has 1 more year, kind of depends on when your birthday is, but I think he's got another year. Then we got Jacob Breckenridge. He is this will be his last year as a sub-junior. Jacob Breckenridge is from Brown's Gym. He doesn't post too much of his training. We don't know too much of what he's got going on, and neither really does Trevor. Doesn't post too much either. But I know the Browns, and I know Brown's Gym, and I've been talking with Jim Brown, the head coach over there and the owner of Brown's Gym, and he tells me that Jacob Snowball Breckenridge is definitely going to put a lot of kilos on his total. He hasn't been even working with him that long, and so his total, once you find a good coach and you start working with them in this age category, sub-juniors, your total can blow up fast. So let's see where his total ends up. Hopefully in the sub-juniors here, we'll see these guys throw up some huge totals. He's nominated with a 670. Like I said, Trevor's got a 692. Can he push to catch up to something like around where Trevor is? Can Trevor push to catch up to someone like the guy ahead of him and finish in 2nd? If all goes well, it looks like the guy from Great Britain, Chinye, is going to run away with 1st place. But if all goes well, there is some possibility that the U.S. lifters could finish 2 and 3 on the podium if in the perfect world and a perfect day. And let's see if that can happen. And, of course, we don't need it. We've got the team points locked up, but it would be great to see these kids come out here and have a great experience and show out on the biggest stage in powerlifting at the sub-junior and junior world championships here in Romania. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're going to wrap it up. Don't forget, we will be doing our final press conferences of these world championships later today after the 2nd session of the day, after Trevor and Jacob Breckenridge are done competing. We'll be right back here. We'll have them all answering questions. We only have 3 lifters today, but Luella Bowden will be stopping by for the press conference. They've already told me because she wasn't able to make it yesterday. She had to go out to dinner. And we might also be having Connor Himes stopping by. And then we'll all take a group picture, and then we'll go to the banquet where we'll be collecting a lot of bling for the U.S. national team, a couple of best lifters in Luella Bowden and Chelsea Enamore, a couple of team gold medals for the sub-junior teams, and then, celebrating all of our great performances from all of our great athletes, and then everyone flies out and goes home back to reality tomorrow. And tomorrow, I will still be in Romania, and I will be hosting another episode of Monday Night Live, and we've got a great store planned. We've got a great show planned for Monday Night Live. We're having some experts who've watched the classic side of these world championships very closely, have a lot of talking points to talk about. We'll be bringing in some analysts. We'll see if, I think most of this team is going to be traveling back to the U.S. right now, so we probably won't have anyone on except for our special guests and special analysts and our co-host. It'll be Mike Gold, Julia Williams, and we're going to introduce a new co-host onto the show, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited for you all to meet her. And then yeah, that's pretty much everything we have going on. Make sure you're following Powerlifting_America on Instagram so you can see all the behind the scenes coverage, all the little interviews that we do after squat, bench, and deadlift, and before and after they get their gold medals. And then if they hit any big lifts, I'll post those on the Instagram story as well. I'll post the links to the session so you can watch there. Don't forget, all of our national championship registrations are open and live now. Make sure you sign up before they fill up. We don't want to have any kind of fiasco with people not being able to sign up in time. We want to have everyone signed up early so that we can know if we need to extend, if we need to change the schedule, if we need to add on more days. The production value of this year's national championships is going to be a level up beyond what it was last year. We've got cool venues, better production, more competitors. Every weight class, every division is going to be stacked. So it's going to be amazing. Also, we're going to be hosting the Bench Press World Championships. So Bench Press Nationals is going to be huge. We're hosting the North American Powerlifting Championships in Scottsdale. So for across all age groups and all weight classes and across all equipment divisions, whether you're equipped or classic, whether you're a sub-junior, junior, master, open, there's 2 world level competitions, international level competitions that you can go and break records at. It's the North American Powerlifting Championships and of course all of these world championships, whether it be the Masters World Championships, which will be the next one coming up after this in Mongolia, or else whether it's the Open World Championships next year, the Classic will be in Lithuania, or the Junior World Championships and Sub-Junior World Championships, whether you're classic or equipped, and those will be in Malta next year. So it's a really, really exciting year. 2024 is going to be bigger than ever. Definitely go become a member. Go to powerlifting-america.com and become a member. Get signed up for a local meet so that you can go and compete in one of these national meets. Get yourself onto one of these U.S. national teams and go show out on one of the biggest stages in powerlifting. With that, thank you for everyone who's tuned into these pregame shows. I know we're coming at you like at 3 o'clock in the morning in the U.S., and not a lot of people are going to be able to watch them live. That's fine. We're still going to keep doing them. We're going to keep doing this stuff because we want to push the envelope forward in powerlifting. We want to show that it doesn't take a lot to do something like this. It takes basically one guy, a laptop, a microphone, and some lights and a camera. That's all you need. So if we can do it, anyone can do it. All the other federations out there, we want you to push forward for the IPF. We want the IPF to push forward. We want to start incorporating more of the type of broadcast that you would get in a mainstream sport. No mainstream sport just comes on at kickoff and kicks the ball off in soccer, or tip off in basketball, or a kickoff in football, anything like that. There's always a pregame show. There's always a postgame show. There's always expert analysts that are going to break down what you should be watching for. So that's where we're trying to set the standard here. Of course, we know it's low production. It's just me, one guy, talking on camera for an hour, and it maybe isn't the most exciting coverage, but we just want to show that it's something that's possible. It can be done. And if we had a better time zone for this, I think a lot of people will be tuning in, asking questions and watching this and getting ready to watch the World Championships today. So that's my little spiel. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut down the live stream. Thank you again to everyone that's watching, and we really appreciate you. And let's go Team USA and let's finish strong. With that, peace.